Today is Tuesday, May the 7th, and what I said on Twitter we were going to do today was look at the 1-minute charts for the stocks that we've been always following in the market because today was such a tightly traded day, obviously a huge down day in the market, but it did recover towards the end, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. But we had this big drop at the open from 29.31, and we opened at 29.13, and we never saw that level again. So here's the S&P 500 on the 1 minute. And let's just make it a little bit bigger. Whoops, not that big. And let's look at the importance of the cloud on the 1 minute chart. First time it went to test the cloud, it was rejected. Rejected. Broke out through a flat cloud, came back and tested the flat cloud, and we'll see that that's important today. Failed, came back up, tested, failed, failed. Passed through one of the thinnest portions of the cloud. It could have passed through here, but it took a pass through here thinner. Didn't wait for this point because the resistance was too great. So the bulls made a bit of a run for it here. Wouldn't say the bulls, but those who were positive. Came down, gravity effect by this flat cloud, not quite, moved up, came down, tested on the cloud, lost the cloud, moved down, came up at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, tested on the cloud, failed, broke in, tested to break out of the cloud, failed, came down, tried to break through the thinnest portion of the cloud here. Again, it didn't want to break through here because there's too much resistance, so it chose to make a run right here with the minimum of resistance. Came down, flat cloud again to test, failed. Moved up, broke through, flat cloud, magnetic effect, came down and tested right on the cloud, bounce, tested right on the cloud, lower, high, that was a failure, down through the cloud, and then we moved up from 335 onwards, but we tested the cloud 1, 2, 3 times before finally moving up. So the 1 minute cloud for the S&P 500 for people who are trading SPY, or this, you would see exactly the same thing for the ES futures. If you're trading on the 1 minute, which futures traders do, that's a very important time frame. Apple on the 1 minute. Apple had its largest point in the first minute, and then never saw that again. Tested the cloud just like about the same time that the S&P 500 did. More testing of the cloud here, broke through a thin portion of the cloud, fell through, came down, tested the cloud, tested the top of the cloud, rejected, came down, tested the top of the cloud, broke through the cloud, flat cloud, pulled it down just like the S&P, flat cloud attracted it, failed. There weren't enough buyers. Every time we came down to the top of the flat cloud, we had fewer and fewer buyers, so we ended up falling down, and at the same time as the S&P moved up, the Apple started to move up through the cloud. Same sort of motion we see for Apple on the 1 minute. So people who are trading Apple calls and puts were trading on the 1 minute. Pretty tight today. Saw exactly the same thing for Caterpillar. The importance of the 1 minute cloud here, 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 all along here. Failed. And we saw the same move up. So everything started to move up towards the end of the day, not coming anywhere near to recovering its losses, but there you see it. Gold. Gold had a positive day today. It was up 2%. Gold miners. Intel. I'm going to go into the daily now, and I apologize. Yesterday I spoke too quickly, and I talked about a gap that was up here, which hadn't quite filled. I've removed it now because it actually has filled. A lot of people look at gaps and they include the tails. So the top of this tail and the bottom of that tail would constitute filling a gap. But I was talking about a gap up here, which was April the 25th, and I'm sorry, I completely ignored all of the action after that down here. So we have this other huge gap, which was, of course, Intel's earnings. Then we had the following day come up and test the top of the cloud. We've had tests on the bottom of the daily cloud, and today we've stayed within the bottom of the cloud and on the 200-day moving average. So if you want to take a shot at Intel here, good luck. I wouldn't be buying anything with the tariff discussions going on. like they are. The rug could get pulled out of from under your feet anytime. But we have held the 200. If it's an update tomorrow, put a stop under the 200 and get out of Intel. Whirlpool, we're looking at the daily chart here, another bad day. So remember we said we were looking for a breakout of this trend line from this point, second point, third point, pretty much a fourth point here, failure. We're not buying until we break this trend line, and the Ichimoku and the candles will be free and clear to make a buying decision. Great economy. Why don't we see it in the primary supplier to the housing industry, the American appliance builder Whirlpool? There you go. WDC. I still like WDC. I should like it a lot less today, but I do believe that we're going to get support. I think it's just tariff talks, trade talks. We've got this gap, which we did fill right here. You see, we filled it on May the 1st, and we can take it out. And we have no gap in here if you're looking at tails. So we have no gaps to fill on the way up. We've got support at 44. That would be a buying opportunity, I think, to add more if you like WDC and their 50-cent dividend that's coming up, and resistance at the 200. So thank you for listening today. What a crappy day.